Hello, and welcome to this session of Talking Tech, Women and Girls in ICT. My name is Hayoung, and I am representing UNICC as a Communications Aide intern for today's interview. Talking Tech is a series of interviews celebrating girls and women in tech, brought to you by the ITU, UNICC, Equals, the Global Partnership for Gender Equality in Digital Age, and the Office of the UN Secretary General Envoy on Youth. Today, I have the privilege of interviewing Kinjal Dalal. Kinjal is the head of projects and programs section at UNICC. Kinjal joined UNICC in October of 2020. Prior to UNICC, her vast professional experience is rooted within the private sector, notably the investment banking industry. As the head of the projects and programs section, Kinjal is responsible for all project-oriented operations within the organizations and driving and implementing next-gen project management through the organization. Comprising of one of the largest groups of certified Prince2 and Agile project management experts and practitioners, UNICC's project and program services offer clients with services ranging from light touch project management, end-to-end project management, and program management. Client stakeholders can expect budget transparency, timely realization of milestones, improved controls, and reporting and compliance through deployment of shared resources to serve clients and provide economies of scale. Benefits including adherence to project best practices, processes, templates, and development, maintenance and storage of project templates or project documentation. So thank you so much for making time to call with me today. To get started, if you could please elaborate on how you came across this role in UNICC as the head of projects and programs section. What sort of experiences or backgrounds in IT or otherwise has led you to pursue this part of your career?
Sure. Firstly, thank you for having me here in this forum. What a great way to recognize and spotlight women in IT. So thank you again. On the first part of your question on how I came across this role, honestly, I've been soul searching for quite some time and trying to find a role that was fulfilling, something I was passionate about, somewhere I can truly make a difference and add value. I had spent my career prior to UNICC, as you rightfully mentioned, in the private sector, banking specifically. I built great relationships, a great brand for myself, climbed the ladder, and ultimately felt like I reached my ceiling in terms of all that I could achieve. So I was ready for a change. And I started aggressively applying across various industries, looking at profit and nonprofit organizations, and came across this role. And when I read the job spec, read up on what UNICC was about and the evolution of UNICC to date, and saw that they were encouraging female applicants, I knew this is where I wanted to be. On the second part of your question, what's led me to pursue this career? There's that saying, when you feel like all those things in life, big or small, have been stepping stones to get you to where you are today, that's how I feel about this role and about UNICC. I've always enjoyed technology. In high school, we had a magnet program, essentially specialized programs ranging from science to business and so forth. And I chose applied technology. We had courses in robotics and aerodynamics. We learned how to use tools and build things like catapults and robotic arms, and got to compete in competitions. And it was just fascinating to me. When deciding which college to go to, I also happened to choose a technical school, mainly because I fell in love with the campus, the small class sizes, and also the faculty that were really, really amazing. So I chose to specialize in business management, and then later also pursued project management. And then when I was graduating, the opportunities that largely came my way were financial institutions with roles in IT.
Wow. Well, through all of your career and all of your background, I would just like to ask, which project or position or experience in general gave you the most opportunity to grow in your field? Tell us about this experience and what you've taken away from it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a project that I'll never forget. DB New Workplace. I still remember the name of it. It was the rollout of a shared seating model for our infrastructure division. And that was across our New York and New Jersey metro campus. Yeah, so a scope of about 356 seats. and population. So I had just joined the workforce. I was on my second rotation as part of a 2-year rotation program. But my manager had really empowered me to really run with this project from end to end. So I was sitting in on all the focus groups that were led by a third-party design consultancy firm. I was leading training sessions on what technology to expect as part of the rollout, what equipment they can expect. I was also working very closely in gathering user requirements on the as-is state. Yeah, so for every individual, what are their technology requirements? How many desktops, laptops, screens, everything in the nitty and gritty. So in essence, I was the face of the program. And given this was a change initiative, I also happened to get some heat from folks on the ground, including senior management. And I remember vividly a senior director stopping me in the hallway and venting loudly about the cons of this project. And I calmly explained to him that I understood his points. I would circle back. And I made my way to my desk. And I remember getting pinged on Skype moments later by so many folks that had clearly overheard the conversation, asking if I was all right. And I was fine. But the project ultimately, it was a 6-month project. Overall, major success. And I think it was mainly due to the fact that I tried to ensure that I was the voice of the people, quote unquote, in terms of raising any and all concerns that they had to management, making sure that they were all addressed, listened to minimally. Yeah. And then I think what we also did was we implemented a very conservative desk sharing ratio of about 10 people to 8 desks. And overall, it yielded the company savings of $650,000 year over year. We were also able to release some real estate footprint in other buildings. In essence, also the cost savings measure also enabled us to save jobs at the end of the day as well. So this project happened very early in my career, but provided many avenues for me to step up as a leader. Enabled me to grow in a challenging and uncomfortable scenarios. And I think what really prevails at the end of the day is professionalism and respect. And when you do things with respect and professionalism, it's better received.
I love that you shared that experience from very early on in your career, because without a doubt, just from listening to how you tell the story, I can tell that it's left a big impact. And so I'm sure you carry some of that impact into your role as a manager today. And so I'd like to ask the next question, which is, in your view, how are teams best managed? And how do you retain strong talent and female talent?
Yeah, great question. I have a team of about 20 or so PMs at the moment. And I have weekly connects with every single one of them. We talk about the projects that they have at hand, any foreseeable challenges and risks, but also a huge part of those conversations is, what are your aspirational goals? Also looking at what we do right now and how could we do it better, and really empowering them. And I think including them in the decision-making process and ideas that are rolled out. I think that's really what's pivotal. Yeah. To me, recognizing talent, hard work, good work, are all essential ingredients in retaining a motivated team. Going back to the path to development, I think providing and facilitating conversations on path to development, providing moral support, listening to your team, their suggestions, thoughts, ideas is so immensely critical. So to me, those are, I think, the key ingredients to retaining a strong team and a motivated team.
Do you have anything to say about female talent, like female members in your team at all, or does it?
Yeah, I am trying to, as a matter of fact, I think with all that UNICC is trying to do for females in leadership roles and female empowerment, also trying to recruit a lot of females. And I think it's also being clear about expectations and understanding what the needs are. Yeah, sometimes it's on a case-by-case basis. I think it's really just understanding the various members of your team, whether male, female, young, whatever the case is. I think it's just listening and understanding what their needs are and incorporating them, baking them into their day-to-day, and then their path to development, ultimately.
I see.
But I think it's the nurturing of talent and supporting supporting females in the workforce, supporting, I think, your workforce in general. And that goes a long ways.
Right. Thank you for answering that. I'd like to ask, I guess, because this is an interview about, a woman in IT, when was your gender the most salient to you? Feel free to speak as specifically or generally as you see fit.
Yes. I think in the banking sector, especially within IT, I noticed there were rarely females in leadership roles. There were many programs and initiatives underway, lots that was talked about, but what I saw on the top of the house was largely a fraternity, or what's notoriously known as the boys' club, and it was hard to break that ceiling, to I think move into a senior leadership role and to see anyone else doing it. And it wasn't until I joined UNICC that I was really amazed and impressed by all that's proactively being done by the enterprise to enable women to step into leadership roles. So I'm very thankful for this opportunity.
It's definitely an initiative that I also see quite largely in the organization. So I definitely concur with you on that. I guess my next question is, going forward, how would you like to see your career to continue? What sort of projects would you like to accomplish? And also on the topic of gender, how would you like to see the role of gender shift or perhaps not shift within your field?
Yeah. So I think we've done great work over the years in building out and maturing the project management practice, largely attributed to Anish Sethi's foundational work. So my goals for near term are to enable UNICC to embed agile best practices in our project delivery framework. Yeah, that is in progress at the moment. Mid to long term is to build a robust planning portfolio, effective resource management techniques. Yeah, and I think in the later instance, also formalizing a program management framework. And I think there's more to come. In terms of the gender shift, I would like to see more women coming back to the workforce. I think with this pandemic as well, I'd really like to see that shift, and especially in IT, because I think they add value. I think we bring immense value, insights into all that we do. So I really would like to see more women returning back to the workforce, and especially in IT.
I see. We're going to soon close up our final question, but before that, I do want to ask a question that is not so work related. What is something that you enjoy outside of your day-to-day running all of these programs and these projects at UNICC?
Yeah. My girls are my everything. So I'm a mom to 2 3-year-olds, and they inspire me. They motivate me, they challenge me, and they teach me new things about myself. So I think taking the opportunity to reflect and to be thankful for all that is around us is the most meaningful thing.
I guess then to segue to the last question, what is one piece of advice that you would give to younger women, perhaps even your daughters as they grow up and they pursue professional paths later? A woman who is interested in IT or perhaps interested in a career in the United Nations.
Yes. I would say trust in yourself and your instincts. Listen to your gut, because it will never steer you wrong. And continue to challenge yourself. Go outside of your comfort zone. Yeah. Also reach out for mentoring and coaching. And I can't tell you how instrumental that has been for me in my career. I know when I started and I joined a rotation program right out of college, I had what was assigned a buddy who was generally a year or 2 senior to you. And then you also had a mentor who is a very senior member, a director level or higher, and someone outside of your division. So you're really getting some really meaningful insights from just outside of your division, what's going on, enterprise view. And that to me has been very, very valuable. I was also one of the few who helped to roll out a mentoring program for Women on Wall Street, an organization, largely based out of New York. And it was the first of its kind that we rolled out at Deutsche Bank, where it was open and inclusive to women across all levels to join, and cross-divisional, which was hard to find. There were a lot of divisional specific mentoring programs. So to me, any chance that you get in your career, in your life, to have a mentor or coach, I say definitely go that route. The other thing is, I think of ways you want to make an impact or leave behind a legacy. To me, all the work I did and endless hours I worked in the private sector, I couldn't necessarily see how they made any difference in society. They yielded cost savings and helped to save jobs as well. But I think that the work here that we do at UNICC, the projects that we work on directly have an impact on the community, the broader community. When you look at our sustainable development goals, the SDGs, all 17 of them, being able to know that you've worked on a project that has impacted, whether it's gender diversity, poverty, the criminal justice system, peacekeeping, and driving some improvements there, to me, I think that's something that can help you, sleep at night knowing that, you've made some sort of a meaningful impact. You've touched upon something truly meaningful, valuable, and that to me is what really drives innate value. So I think that to me is most meaningful.
I see. Oh, I know the SDGs too well. I have a poster of it in my room.
Right.
But no, I totally agree with everything that you say. And we speak about mentors, and you're someone who is in a different division, director, upper level. And I, just from this conversation and our previous conversations, I can say that I've taken away so much and I've learned so much. So I just wanted to thank you for all the insight you've imparted, not just this time, but every time we've spoken. And that concludes our interview. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me again. And to all the listeners and to all the watchers, viewers out there, thank you for tuning in, and hope to see you in the next interview.
Bye. Thanks everyone. Thank you.